Hello.
Hey, Cassandra.
Hey, Cassandra. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so I would say we can just start. So, well, welcome everyone to this new meeting for the Salt Stack testing and release working group. It seems that there is no new participant on the working group, so we all already know each other. So yeah, not need of introductions at this point. So yeah, I would say, well, first thing I would like to announce, as we all know here, is that yeah, the Sol 3000, the Neon release is already rare. So congratulations everybody for that. You made it again, so this is great. Yeah, so on the context of the testing working group, there is not much progress since the last meeting, at least on the SUSE side. Yeah, we have not progressed much on the porting PR stuff, but what we have been done is to take a look at this POP and also the salt being stuff. We have been doing some experiment around this, and we also had the opportunity to meet Garrett and also Tyler during the config management camp, which was great. We had the opportunity to hack a little bit around POP, and it was really nice stuff. Yeah, we have been also working on the Uyuri release, the newer one, 2020 01, which is also there. We released that last week. So we have been, I think, all very busy with these yeah, deadlines from the past weeks. Yeah. Well, on the PyTest integration, I noticed that there have been some progress on this PyTest PR. Last thing that Pedro mentioned was that since we were close to the RCs and the release, it was expected that this was delayed a bit, and just for continuing after the release. So yeah, I already saw that there is some progress there, so this is great. Let's see if we have it yeah, as soon as possible. And also, Megan, thank you very much. I also saw that you also published a pull request about doing some changes on the documentation for the new way of running the test. So we will need to wait until the final PR is there for the PyTest integration, and then we will have some documentation. So people that wants to now switch to the new model or just starting from scratch has something for to start with. So this is fine. Around the Salt Neon release, I also wanted to mention that we already started to work on a package on the OpenSUSE side. We already have it locally built in for OpenSUSE Leap and 15.1. It's not yet published, but we are already doing some progress there. So hopefully we will get that on OpenSUSE, and we will have also our test suite running using this Neon version. We will, yeah, hopefully give us feedback. Yeah, maybe some PRs for fixing stuff, which is expected. Yep. That's more or less what I wanted to say on our side. I'm not sure. Yeah, does anyone, any of the participants wants to share something, wants to just, yeah, have something to announce, to share? How are the plans doing?
At some point, I'd like to talk about the project board. We can do that now or toward the end of the call, whatever works for everybody. To review that.
Yeah, I would say that we can just go with that. Cassandra, please go ahead. I think we have some, let me just copy the link here for the board that we were using so far. Is this one?
Okay, I think probably the place to start is an overview of what we expect and why this project board exists. And then from what I understand, some people are confused about how to use the project board and use that to decide what contributions they should be making. So does somebody want to give an overview of how this project board is set up and what we use it for? This is my first time encountering it. So
yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. So initially we started not using this particular board, but we started on Trello. So we have initially some, like big task that we wanted the working group to achieve, and we set somehow prioritization on those tasks with the participants that we have at the moment. But then, all the stuff around the change of the branch strategy and everything comes. That basically just interrupts until we get the final unstable version, let's say, and how we will proceed, and also now with the PyTest integration. So what we did at some point was to migrate some of those cards that were actionable to that particular board, the Solstack community one. And then we use this basically for tracking the PRs that we were porting to master. So at the moment, there is no Epic card on this testing board from the Solstack community repo. We do have those on the old Trello one. I think I can share that one as well. So we could probably just restructure this community board in a way that basically we can close the Trello one and have this in a better shape for, just allow contributors to just pick single stuff from there, or just start working on some of the epics if they just wanted to do some more complex stuff, let's say like that, just having content for them.
okay, so it sounds like the first step then to using this project board would be to have somebody or some people take the action to basically port everything from Trello and set up the project board. And then once we do that, we can use it to refer to and decide how to prioritize things. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. We do, as I mentioned, we did some prioritization on the past, which seems to, or it should be already reflected on the Trello board. I'm pasting the link to the Trello board just now. This one, I'm not sure if it should be public. Yeah, it's actually public, so you should see it. Yeah, these are some of the ideas that we initially brought up to the working group on the first meetings that we had. And yeah, so I think that one of the first thing we should do is just to move everything from this Trello board to the GitHub community board. Just close this one and somehow reflect those epics there, and just have this community board as the main point of contact or something like that, or where all the work should be reflected somehow. So I think I can, okay, so I can do that myself. There is no problem. So I can just have this as a card to work. Probably I will do that tomorrow or something like that. So we will have it, everything on the new board as soon as possible. For that, it's not something that we require too much for.
Thank you.
And yeah, let me just take some notes here. Okay. So, okay, so I will be doing this probably tomorrow, and the idea is to have some column where we reflect the goals, these epic ones, and also I will probably have or keep the column that we have for pending PRs that we want to port. there is actually something that I have been working on together with Mihai, which was porting some fixes we have been done on this batch async code. It's not something really test related, but it's something that requires tests, so that's why we have that specific card there. So I will probably keep some of the cards, but just drop everything that is not needed, put it in a more cleaner way, let's say that. And then we could, of course, start working if we want to, let's say, refine some of the goals. If we want to just have some of the epics in a more actionable way. So yeah, we can just create cards around that.
Okay, that sounds great to me. Are there any questions about what this project board is used for, or does anybody not have access to it? Is there anything that we can help there as far as making it easier for anybody to use or view the project board? Any feedback on the board or things that you think should be added?
I think I will also add, apart from the cards, I will add some notes about where you find to find the documentation, yeah, testing documentation and so on, like important links. So everyone that wants to do something around the testing has the shortcuts there.
That's a good call. Make it kind of a people can stop here, look, and say, hey, this stuff needs done, and then branch out from there.
Exactly. Yeah, that would be nice.
Cool. That was the only thing I had, was just the project board discussion and following up on that.
Okay, so yeah, yeah, again on our side, or the plan that we had before when we started with this working group was to start working directly on the test suite itself, like trying to do some profiling around the test execution, see if we could make it more modular, work on the tests that are the ones that are consuming most of the time, and just work around the test suite itself. But as the test suite is being basically refactored, at some point we just stop for a while, and we somehow are waiting to have this final approach so we can basically elaborate the epics now with the final design, let's say like that. So this is something that it will be very nice to maybe do again, like go and analyze the epics and the goals that we initially set here, and see if they are still make sense, and how we can approach those using the newest way of testing salt that we are or is currently being proposed, and hopefully we will get that merged and as a definite as the new way of basically deal with the test suite. So one goal I would maybe set for the next meeting, if we already have the PyTest staff, is to reevaluate the epics that we initially set and see how we could start approaching those with the new PyTest stuff, or the PyTest runner that we have now for the test suite.
Okay, so can that be an action then that everybody takes, is kind of to go look at those epics and reevaluate them, and then be prepared to bring your thoughts to the next meeting? And that'll give us a good discussion point. And we definitely like to hear from some of the community members, of course, on this.
What I would do is, as soon as I have the board in the proper shape, I also including the goals, I will just ping you on the testing channel on Slack, saying that, hey, we already have everything in place here, so you can start taking a look. or maybe just throw new stuff there or ideas that you have, and then we could have a discussion around what we have or what we are collecting during this new month, and on next planning meeting we can just go around those, do some discussion, and maybe reprioritize them.
Yeah, that works. So yeah, we'll just throw it up in Slack too. If people can't make the meeting, they can their feedback there. And then I've been kind of aggregating the feedback that we're getting for the various work groups and things, and trying to make sure that that stuff gets represented.
That sounds fine. Perfect. Okay. Is there anything else on your side?
Well, there's nothing much to add regarding PyTest. I have, I'm still working on it, keeping it update and trying to carve the next steps after we merge, but there's no date yet for the merge, so there's really not much more update about it.
Okay. Yeah, again, let's just work on the board, have it in a good shape, and of course, as soon as we have this merged, then we can just start with the doing some of the final stuff that we want to achieve. But yeah, anyways, no hurries. By the way, I wanted to tell you how the Neon release is going. Any feedback from the community?
Yes, so there's been some talk on the release channel about pinning to latest, which we are taking notes of the comments and seeing how we can address the concerns. There's actually another issue with the Bootstrap script. We can bootstrap Neon from Git, but not from the stable packages, and I'm working on a fix for that. We also found 2 or 3 issues, and we are considering .1 for that. But we still don't have a planned date for that. Yeah, some input from the community. Right now, I think that we are all trying to adjust our processes to the new versioning scheme, and we are invested on this new scheme so that we can, with enough time, because we still have a lot to fix from history, from the past, but we want to go to a place where people can trust the next releases. So yeah, I think that's kind of adjustment from the community and us, and that's more or less the input that we've been having. If anyone else wants to pitch in, feel free, but I think overall this has been the feedback so far.
Thank you very much for sharing it. Okay. Yeah, I had to say myself, I just started playing with the Neon release 3 days ago or something like that, 2 days ago. I was playing, well, I was trying it also together with the Salt Bing. So yeah, just bring the Neon release to an older SLIS 11 or Syntax 6 system and see how things are working there. Yeah, I'm already facing problems with them. Yeah, you know, dependency libraries. So when I build the binary for Salt, then yeah, I need, you know, for example, having the libbeer library also there, and so on and so on. But it's nice. I mean, we will probably came with pull requests or something like that, because yeah, one thing that we want to do is to be able to build the Salt Bing inside the OBS. the open build service, and that will require that there is no internet connection in the middle, so we cannot use pip for basically building the environment. So yeah, we are currently playing around this and yeah, see how we can basically make it to fit in our current environment. But definitely nice.
Yeah, since you are mentioning SaltBin, whatever your findings and struggles, whatever you find, please report back. We're still evaluating if that's the way that we want to go to distribute, because at least that way we have more control of what gets installed and how Salt gets installed, because we made a change in order not to support a ton of branches at the same time. And that's when we switched to the master branch approach. And we also want to make a change in how Salt can be installed, because Salt right now can be installed in a lot of ways. And most of those ways we do not have control about what gets installed and what version gets installed. And so we have to support several versions of several libraries, and this is not a small project, so we struggle a lot with that, and we just want to be able to have a little more control over that, so that the overall experience with Salt is better, and people just like install it, it works, and they don't have like small little problems because of a wrong version installed or something like that. Since you're playing with it, whatever you find and struggle on, let us know, because we are also investigating that approach, like using SaltBin to distribute Salt.
Perfect. Yeah, I will let you know. This week is Hack Week at SUSE, so yeah, everybody's like playing and doing crazy stuff. So you can expect that people is also playing around. And I know also Cedric, one of the colleagues, is playing around POP. So I think he's already doing some Leopard plugin for POP or for IDLE or something like that. He's playing around, so that's nice.
Awesome.
We will let you know the feedback that we get, we have, and see how we can all improve this. Make it better.
Yeah, please let us know.
Okay. So I don't have anything else for this meeting today for the working group. I have my task now for preparing the board. Not sure if there is anything else from you. You have some requests. Whatever, just speaks up.
Yeah, I think we covered the topics that we could on this one.
Yeah, and I have my next steps once you take care of yours, so we can work together on that.
Okay, this is great. Then I would say that we can just wrap up this meeting for today. I will just let you know as soon as I have the board ready on Slack, so you can have the goals there and just start taking a look at them, thinking, and throwing your ideas as well there. And let's see what we get for the next meeting. Okay, I would say that's all. So have a nice day, evening, or wherever. Happy hacking, and see you in a month. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, same. Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.